We have a lot of big news on Tesla stock to get into here today, and we're going to start with Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood says Tesla should trade like a technology stock and not like traditional automakers, something that analysts and Tesla bears can't grasp. That's why they're getting it wrong, Wood told Benzinga on the Raz report. Autonomous taxi platforms could be the biggest AI project in the world, she said. Tesla, because of its positioning with AI, it is the only auto company or tech company that has designed its own chip for autonomous driving. Wood referenced Apple in the comparison to Tesla and its decision to make its own chip. It has taken a leaf from Apple's book. Apple redefined the cell phone market by designing a chip that turned the cell phone into a computer. Woods told viewers to look at companies like Motorola, Ericsson, Nokia, and BlackBerry and see where they are today. They didn't define the market correctly, and neither have auto companies. Tesla is not an auto play. This is an autonomous taxi platform play with software as a service like margins. She noted that autonomous has 80% plus gross margins for Tesla, which is important given its current normalized 20% gross margins. Tesla also trades with higher price to sales and price to earnings multiples to its automotive peers, something Wood said should continue going forward. I have personally gotten quite a few comments on robo-taxis in the comments of a lot of these videos, and people are wondering, is it just going to be like you or I could sign up for the Robotaxi network, or is Tesla going to have its own fleet of Robotaxis? And the answer is both. Tesla is going to have their own vehicles for Robotaxi, but you can also sign up to have your vehicle be a Robotaxi. The concept that I like the most, that I think is kind of the coolest, is if you go to work and you work an 8-hour shift, you can have your car doing Robotaxis in your city until you're off work. And you could have it be done maybe a half an hour before you're off of work. So your car is ready to go, but you just made money while you're making money at your job. That's a pretty cool concept that makes me personally very bullish on a broad robotaxi network. On that note, Elon Musk says training compute should not be so much of a limiting factor. It's very difficult bringing the 10,000 H100 cluster online, by the way. A similar experience to bringing our now 16,000 A100 cluster online. Uptime and performance are low at first, then improve with lots of work by Tesla and Nvidia. And just so everyone knows, this should 4 to 9 times the training speed once this H100 cluster is fully operational. Then you add Dojo on that in 2024, and you're going to progressively revolutionize autonomous vehicles quickly. Tesla is now heavily discounting Model 3 inventory in Canada and the US. Over the last 2 months, Tesla has been discounting their Model 3 in both countries, with the first discounts appearing in early July. At that time, the discounts in Canada were as much as $5,000, and in the US, some above $3,000. This is obviously because we have the refreshed Model 3 Highland coming out in literally just the next couple of weeks. So this is a great move by Tesla, because once the Highland is out, not too many people are going to want the original Model 3. So they need to get rid of their inventory now so they don't have to write that off on earnings, and that just is not another negative factor for Tesla's margins. Recent reports suggest an announcement will come on September 1st in China. On Wednesday night, the discounts returned, and with the time difference, that is just 24 hours away from the expected announcement. That is 12 hours away from right now. We could get the announcement of the Model 3 Highland over in China. It's expected it will start in China, and we will see the first deliveries in China, and then shortly after, within the next week or two, we should start to get deliveries elsewhere. As Sawyer Merritt does say on Twitter, workers at Ford, GM, and Stellantis are fighting for a 40% pay increase, but analysts worry that this will drive up car prices and ultimately make it harder for these auto giants to compete with Tesla. And that's exactly it. Competing with Tesla is seen as almost impossible today for legacy OEMs. And now you have to pay your workers potentially 40% more. You just cannot compete with Tesla. And that's another reason why I think a lot of legacy OEMs will have to partner with Tesla for full self-driving capabilities and autonomous technologies, because 5 to 10 years from now, you're going to have that kind of software, because competitors such as Tesla will have that software, and everyone will want a piece of the pie of the robotaxi network. Again, if you work an 8-hour shift, you can have your car be a robotaxi. That's very advantageous for you as a working individual. These things will have to be a part of legacy OEMs. And look at the dollar amount Tesla is spending on creating full self-driving today. These legacy OEMs, they're not going to have the net income to do that, especially when the new UAW contract is signed. And this could be the first issuance of this. Ford is going to discontinue the Escape, Edge, and Transit Connect models in the US to make more capital available for its electric vehicle push. Ford had higher than expected losses in 2023. The company is set to lose $4.5 billion more than it previously expected. You're talking almost $10 billion of losses within the last 2.5 years on its EV division alone. These losses are mounting, and they're mounting quickly. And the first quote-unquote bailout is starting. That is actually what Farzad on Twitter said, and I agree with it. The U.S. Energy Department has announced it is making up to $12 billion available for automakers to retrofit their facilities to make electric vehicles and hybrids. The Biden administration will also offer $3.5 billion in funding to domestic battery manufacturers. For the advanced vehicles, $2 billion of the funding will come from the Inflation Reduction Act, and $10 billion will come from the Energy Department's Loans Program Office. As Farzad said on Twitter, these are loans, but they're forgivable loans. So basically a bailout. In July of 2023, GM produced 2,439 units of the Hummer, the electric Hummer. That is down from June's high of 2,750 units built and May's 2,590 units built. June of 2023 saw the highest monthly production total for the GMC Hummer EV since the SORP in October of 2021. And you guys can see you're down like 300 vehicles from June's number, so not great numbers coming out of this production facility. And just to provide a little bit of clarity on these legacy OEM bailouts, $10 billion are for loans to support auto manufacturing because they lose so much money building EVs, they need $10 billion worth of loans. $2 billion in free funny money, also known as grants, for auto manufacturing conversion projects, and $3.5 billion to expand domestic manufacturing of batteries for EVs. The bailouts, unfortunately, just begun. The 9th Tesla V4 Supercharger in the world has been spotted, located in the UK again. This one will be opened in Cornwall, UK. It's going to be 8 V4 chargers off of the A30. All V4 superchargers so far have been created in Europe. And you guys can see right here, conveniently located next to a McDonald's, as well as I see in the back, a Starbucks. We are also seeing new images of a couple Cybertrucks overnight last night. One of them notably with an RC sticker. Presumably this means release candidate. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Some people think it means remote controlled, but I think release candidate is probably the safest bet. Elon Musk says video and audio calls are coming to X. This will work on iOS, Android, Mac, and PC. No phone number needed. X is effective global address book. That set of factors is unique. Tesla stock at the time of recording this video is up 0.37% on the day. The RSI is above neutral, which is at 50, trading at 58.24, so not signaling a clear direction, but ever since we hit oversold on the RSI, as we pointed out, typically a good time to buy Tesla stock, Tesla, since that moment, which was back here on August 18th, is up about 22% from the low. So if you heeded our not financial advice to buy Tesla stock when the stock hit oversold on the RSI, you made a pretty nice return already. And I think those gains shall continue as we get the refreshed Model 3 Highland that launches presumably overnight tonight in China, and the delivery event for the Cybertruck, which should be in the next couple of weeks. We did also get some very important economic data this morning, and we're going to get the holy grail of economic data coming tomorrow. So I have a video coming out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. If you are listening to my voice right now, you want to be watching for that video coming out at 8 p.m. sharp, 5 o'clock Pacific time. On the dot, 5 o'clock or 8 p.m. Going over that data coming out tomorrow, my expectations and how that could move the market. So stay tuned to the channel for that one. But the data that we got this morning was really good. It was basically what you wanted to see across the board. All of this data came out at 8:30 in the morning this morning. Personal income month over month came in lighter at 0.2%. You were expecting 0.3%. Wage price spiral, that's no longer even an argument. Personal spending month over month came in at 0.8%. This was the wild card that I pointed out yesterday would be the thing that would either cause the markets to fall a lot or rise a lot. We didn't get a blowout number here to the upside, but we also didn't get a cratering. You were expecting 0.7%. Month over month for July, personal spending came in at 0.8%. Little bit better than expectations. Again, it wasn't 1+% or 2% positive. It wasn't negative. That's great, because personal spending being so high has kept the U.S. economy out of a recession. And you need to see spending hold up as we do get deeper into this hiking cycle, and as these hikes really start to take hold in the economy. If spending collapses, a recession would be almost a guarantee, and it could come quickly. Spending is holding up. That is great news. That is supporting the soft landing narrative. At the same time, core PC price index month over month came in at 0.2%. That is 2.4% annualized. A little high, but not bad. You throw in there a couple 0.1% readings over a 12-month basis, you're going to be right at about 2%. That is perfect. That is great. Soft landing. Looks a lot more likely after today. PC price index year over year came in at 3.3%. Again, that is great. Last month's reading was 3%. You were expecting 3.3%. That is because the base effects that have really helped inflation fall over the last couple of months are starting to go away. So it's looking like your year over year numbers are increasing. But that's why the month over month is so important, because that's really what you want to pay attention to, and that's all the markets really care about. And your headline month over month also came in at 0.2%, and you were again expecting 0.2%. So things were great as far as the data this morning. Even initial jobless claims came in at 228,000. You were expecting 235,000. So even some of your more relevant jobs data, like initial jobless claims, came in below expectations. This is picture perfect. Your soft landing looks very likely. But tomorrow's data point with non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate will really solidify this soft landing narrative or potentially disrupt everything. And that's why that video coming out at 8 p.m. tonight is going to be so important. Following this soft landing like data that we got this morning, the 2-year Treasury is down 1.5 basis points and the 10-year Treasury is down 3.1 basis points. Great news, considering the 10-year Treasury was just at a high of 4.34%, a high of this cycle, and you have fallen to 4.08%, which is quite a drop. That's almost equivalent to a rate cut from the Fed. Tesla's option activity is standout today. with a positive order value of 84%. Over the past week, you have seen positive order value averaging 42% every single day. So this is double, exactly double your week's average positive order value. Now, the way to think about this, again, is if you have a $100 bill going into Tesla options, well, today, $84 out of that $100 bill is going into bullish options, buying calls or selling puts. Your remainder, 16%, or $16 out of that $100 bill is going into buying puts or selling calls, bearish positions. This is great. This is really big. Big news should be for Tesla. You have seen 463 orders totaling $111.2 million. And short sellers have been taking a beating recently, as we said, coming off of the lows on August 18th. Tesla stock is up 22%. That means short sellers have been seeing some losses. Over the past month, you have seen, or pull up the last 2 weeks, the dollar amount that is sold short in Tesla has went from $17 billion to $20.38 billion. Shorts have been losing their booties in the last couple of weeks. The dollar amount currently sold short of $20.38 billion. If you start to get a breakout to the upside, if some of the economic data really supports that, and some of the catalysts like the Cybertruck and the refreshed Model 3 coming online here soon, you could start to see a breakout in Tesla stock, and shorts could be in a very, very rough position. The current probability for a rate hike coming at the next Fed meeting on September 20th, 2023 is 12.0%. If we look out, the first rate cut is no longer expected in March. The odds of a rate cut in March are 32.5%. We were pricing in a rate cut in March just as soon as the last couple of weeks ago. Now you're expecting your first rate cut May 1st of 2024. So you're pushed out about 8 months right now. So any data that supports we could get a rate cut sooner, not because the economy is going into a recession, but because inflation continues to fall, that's going to be great news for Tesla stock. And I see this more of like it's going to happen at some point. It's going to look like the Fed's going to cut rates sooner, not that we're going to push out rate cuts even further. I don't think rate cuts are going to get pushed out to June or August of 2024 before they get, closer, call it back in March or even February if inflation continues to fall. We do also have some earnings in after hours that could be important. One of them is Broadcom. That stock has went from like 400 to 900 and some dollars within the last couple of months, within the last span of kind of Nvidia going higher. This is another chip company, so if they report really good earnings or really bad earnings, that could obviously affect the broader markets, as well as Lululemon. Think your higher end retailer, they will be reporting in after hours as well, which could be important. And Dell has actually done very well recently based on their software service that is starting to be rolled out more and more, and that's another one of those kind of low-key AI trades. So AI could be actually a big story today and after hours and coming tomorrow morning. That obviously could affect Tesla as well as the whole other cohort of AI stocks. So that is your daily update of Tesla and everything you need to know as a Tesla shareholder. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you were listening to my voice and you made it to the end of this video. If you guys want to take it a step further and come trade with me live in real time, every time I make trades, I send out alerts. If you no longer want to sit on your hands and maybe watch your stocks go down, you can come hedge out your portfolios with us. You can make some trades to the upside. You could do all kinds of stuff over there. You can get real freaky with it if you want to. Well, link down below in the description of this video. We will welcome you with open arms. My name is Michael Tyler, and I will see you in the next one.